You know, there can be times in a relationship where you feel undervalued and like you're not even respected in your relationship, where it seems like no matter what you do, your partner just doesn't appreciate you. Maybe you find yourself making apologies that don't seem to fix the problem and wonder why this gap keeps widening. It can feel frustrating and like you're invisible in the relationship. In this video, I'm going to talk about why it feels like you're undervalued and the steps to build back respect. So, I get it. Feeling like you're not respected can be really disheartening because at the end of the day, it feels like it's a baseline, right? It feels like it's the lowest possible thing to get from someone is respect, right? And when you're getting signs of disrespect, eye rolls, sarcastic comments, things like that, it can feel like your partner is not even hitting the lowest bar in the relationship. The truth is that when respect has been broken, it's often down to what we call intellectual intimacy. So in relationships, there are two places where you can brush up against each other. There are emotional discords and there are logical discords. So emotional discords are problems where you clash emotionally, where you feel maybe undervalued, you feel hurt, you feel sad, you feel worried, you feel nervous about the relationship. And logical discords are where you clash logically, more day-to-day practical discords within the relationship. So when logical discords build up, these mainly break what we call intellectual intimacy. Intellectual intimacy is the ability to get things done between you both. So when your partner isn't displaying respect, it's because this intellectual intimacy has been broken. And when intellectual intimacy is broken, it's because of one of three main mistakes that are being made. And just before I jump in, if you do want more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe to my channel for new videos on relationships every single week. One is that you try to demand respect, but you don't earn it. So this means that when logical discords get raised, it means that you take these personally. You take them as criticism on you rather than for the sake of the relationship. So as an example of this, your partner could raise a logical discord such as, hey, I'm worried about our money this month. The finances are looking kind of scary. You didn't get your bonus this month. And I'm really worried about how we're going to afford rent and bills and stuff like that. This is a logical discord. This is something that your partner's bringing you that is to do with the day-to-day running of your relationship. And then let's say you take this badly from your partner. You say, hey, well, it's not my fault. Like this happened in work, or like, why is it always on me? You start to get upset because you take it personally and you say, well, it's not my fault that I didn't get my bonus this month. This isn't fair. You're always blaming me. This is when you're taking logical discords personally and you're not seeing the bigger picture of the relationship. And this means that logicals don't get addressed because your ego is prioritized. You're more worried about your ego than you are about the discord that is being presented to you. The next mistake with being approached with a logical discord is you could act passively. So this means that you don't do anything. Let's say, for example, your partner raises, hey, the car needs to be fixed. When you act passively, this means that you don't do anything. So this could be making broken promises. So you say, yeah, I'll fix it, don't worry about it, but then nothing gets done. Or let's say you apologize for something not being done, but you don't actually change the system to prevent it from happening again. This means that you're not actively trying to figure out these logical discords. Well, the third way that you can approach logical discords is actively. So this is where you try to address these logical discords, but you fail. So let's say, for example, your partner says, hey, the light switch in the bedroom doesn't work. And you kind of half-ass it. You kind of fix it, but it doesn't quite work. Or you employ a dodgy electrician and they perform a really bad job on it. This is where you actively try to address the discord, but you fail. And it shows that you have a broken process or a low standard process. This can also be where people overcommit. They think that they have to take on this discord themselves, but they don't have the capacity to do it. So they end up failing because they're tired and they do a bad job of it, or because they're not paying attention. What this does is it shows your partner you're not looking to grow your process to get these things figured out within the relationship. And ultimately, this means that the logical discord is still not being addressed. So if you're trying but failing, or you're not doing it at all, or you're taking it personally, it means that this intellectual intimacy is damaged because the process is not working. And your partner starts to lose respect for the system that is being built, that you are part of. And oftentimes when this intellectual intimacy is damaged, this then starts to have a massive impact on the emotional. And again, these failure to address these logical discords then starts to become emotional discords on top of that. So when all of these logical discords are built up and emotional discords then start to develop on top of them, how do you start to build respect back? And I would love to dive deeper into this, but there's only so much detail that I can go in. But if you are looking for a deeper dive, then join me on my free relationship bootcamp, where you'll learn the tools and skills that all of my successful members have used to build themselves a thriving relationship. Click on the link in the description to enroll for free today. Well, the first step is to own your mistakes. Take responsibility for your actions and recognize where there are flaws in your process. This is simply about acknowledging when you have done a poor job, when you have walked away from things that you shouldn't have done. This is just simply taking ownership and understanding where your flaws are and focusing on how to make them better. When logical discords come up, make sure that you're acknowledging the issues and start proposing solutions. People respect problem solvers more than complainers, so making sure that you're actually thinking about these discords and providing thoughtful and comprehensive proposals to improve situations, not just simply saying that you'll get it fixed and then not following through with it. The next thing is to make sure that when logical discords are presented to you, that you're actually treating it with respect. If this is something that you haven't noticed or you have noticed and you haven't spoken about it, whatever the problem is, make sure that you're giving it equal time of day to whatever problems you are able to spot. By actively acknowledging your partner's point of view as an equal, that you're showing them respect, which will then generate more respect back for you. If you're unable to see your partner's perspective as equal, then that's going to come out in the way that you react. And that's going to come out as disrespect towards your partner because you're not respecting their perspective. The more that you respect your partner's perspective, the more that will come out in the way that you talk, and the more that will generate respect for you because you're taking the time to understand and respect them. Next is to not follow the golden rule, follow the platinum rule. So the golden rule is to treat people the way that you want to be treated. But actually the platinum rule is to treat others the way they want to be treated. This is valuing your partner's needs and concerns as equal as your own. So this involves taking an interest, asking questions, and being open to new ideas, because otherwise you end up acting like a know-it-all, and this diminishes people's respect for you. So show that you're open to learning and thinking differently. If you demonstrate a willingness to learn, this will start to generate more respect from your partner because it shows that you're not just stuck in one point of view. It shows that you're willing to be open to different perspectives, different ideas, and be able to overcome these logical discords in a much more efficient manner. Next, make sure that you're growing your own process. We can often get stuck in this idea that we know it all and that we have learned everything that we need to learn. But the fact is that the Dunning-Kruger effect is real. This is where people can become so ignorant that they don't even realize how ignorant they are. So by always approaching things with humility and understanding that you and I and everyone knows very little, the more that we know that we have blind spots, the more that we can start to look for ways to fill in those blind spots. The stronger that you build your own growth process, the stronger you can build the relationship growth process. So by growing your own critical thinking skills, this means that you're able to develop them and bring this to the relationship discords as well. People respect people who are always trying to grow themselves and always trying to learn more. So you can garner respect from your partner by showing a willingness to grow yourself, to learn more, to develop your own skills. And one of the most crucial things is to make sure that you don't avoid conflict. Avoiding conflict in a relationship sends the message that your needs are inferior. Some people think that avoiding conflict is a strength, but avoiding conflict is actually a sign of weakness. It can be difficult for your partner to feel respect towards someone who is actively avoiding the logical and emotional discords. So it's important to build your ability to be able to face conflict, but also be able to handle it in the right way. And if you do want to deeper dive into the problems that avoiding conflict causes, then I'll leave you with this video right here. I'll see you over there.